Black History Month has sparked a very important discussion among Afro-Latinos. They question why they are almost invisible during this annual celebration. Dr. Marta Moreno Vega says there is a historical connotation to this.
Because there's a miseducation of the African experience in the Americas. I think that for the most part in the United States, it's couched around the African American U.S. experience. But what's left out is that more than 150 million African descendants live in the Caribbean, in Central America, and in Latin America.
It's these descendants and U.S.-born Afro-Latinos who are raising awareness of the divide that exists between dark-skinned Latinos who do claim their African roots and those with lighter skin complexion who don't.
I see it in my classrooms all the time. You know, an African-American young person born here will look at a Dominican and say, but you're as black as I am. What's your problem, you know? And you'll see a Dominican and a Puerto Rican going at it, no, porque yo soy más claro que tú, que el pelo bueno, que el pelo malo, looking at hair texture and so on. So there's conversations happening that were not happening previously.
This discussion about the discrimination that exists in the community and the constant questions about their African roots was what motivated two Latino New Yorkers to produce the documentary series Afro-Latinos, The Untaught Story.
Give Afro-Latinos a voice, unravel the truth, and teach the stories never taught to us.
The title came from that sense that the story was never taught to us. It wasn't told to us. You know, as Latinos, as Dominicans, Colombians, Cubans, we're taught one side of a story, which is that Columbus sailed the ocean blue, he came to Latin America and saved us.
You do see the segregation, the separation, los Afro-Latinos aquí, los indígenas there, and of course the big cities with the white Latinos, with the money. So I never understood that, you know, coming from New York, we're all the same, you know, we're pretty much, you know, I would say equal. Of course, this is racial discrimination everywhere, but at least here there's rights. If somebody discriminates you, you can fight for your rights. Well, in Latin America, no, if someone discriminates you, where are you going to go?
Local educator Bianca Laureano is also promoting the discussion about Latinos' Black identity through her blog called Latinegros.
During Black History Month, we often notice that our narratives aren't a part of that conversation. And so we kind of wanted to add to whatever commemoration, whatever representation was going on around Black History Month, and to say, you know, we are a part of history.
A history that she hopes will continue to be written, not just on her blog.
You know, this is something that needs to be implemented into curriculum year-round, not just for 1 month. How can we make this for someone who, you know, says to us, I never knew Gwen Ifill was Panamanian. Tell me more about that.
While Laureano's focus has been more local, Debbie and Santos have traveled all over Latin America to find answers to questions such as why many Latinos don't embrace their African ancestry as Black Americans do.
African Americans have that history solid. You know, they can actually pick up a book and read about Martin Luther King, and their parents could tell them about Malcolm X. In Latin America, who are you going to talk about?
It was really about unifying African Americans and Afro-Latinos here in the U.S. You know, so we understand that we share a story that you may not be aware of. I mean, it's an identity thing, so we're very aware of the pelo bueno, pelo malo, good hair, bad hair. You know, Chris Rock just did a documentary. That's a subject that's very, very powerful and not just affecting the African-American community.
Dr. Moreno Vega partly attributes the efforts being made by U.S.-born Afro-Latinos like Debbie Santos and Laureano to the diversity they have been exposed to in New York City.
These issues are coming forward because we're all in the same place. We're all finding ourselves and having to confront our historical miseducation as well as forging forward with a new reality. And no question that there's another opportunity, given that we have a president that's African descendant. So the future looks bright, but it's still a long way to go.
This is Marlene Peralta for Independent Sources.